So hey everyone, I'm just doing a follow-up video to my Taito cocktail cabinet that I started restoring over 5 years ago. It's taken some time to get to this point where it's now running and generally looking pretty tidy. Where I left off, I was not sure how I was going to make it work, if I was going to be able to find any original parts. Control panels were an issue at the time. And getting the screen to work. So how I've got it running now, I can definitely show you how it's all set up. It runs great now. I've had quite a few good gaming nights with friends with this, and yeah, I really do love it, and anyone who sees it loves it as well, because it's not something you normally will come across. So as you can see, it's running the 60-in-1 board, which has all vertical games, or vertical monitor games, so with the screen rotated in the long position. Also, these games are great because when you play two-player, so you've got a control panel on this side, and you go over and you've got a panel on this side, you can play against your friend. Well, you take a turn at a time though, so the idea of it is you start a two-player game. As the first player plays, the second player can sit, have a drink, whatever, and then when that first player loses his first life, the screen will rotate to the opposite side, and then player 2 continues on, and player 1 can take a break and have a drink, whatever. And it's quite fun. It's a shame the board doesn't have any two player on player at the same time games, but yeah, I don't really mind. It's great how it is. So anyway, what I'll do is we'll start looking at it a bit closer. It's mainly with this control panel here. So when I first got it, it was converted to a poker machine, and then everything had been kind of gutted out of it, but it still had a panel that had been drilled in and applied to the front of this. I didn't have this original control panel, and that was quite a bit of an issue to find. It took quite a bit of time to locate one, which I got one, as you can see, in the end, in generally really good condition, and it's the Japanese variant. So when you go to play a game on this, you've got here the player 1 button and the player 2 joystick, and then your fire button. I had to get a replacement joystick because I didn't have one in it, but this print is great. There's a little bit of wear here, but yeah, otherwise pretty nice. This bezel I had to get my hands on. It all came as one piece, luckily, apart from having a joystick, because I really wasn't too sure if I was going to be able to locate one, because this being all missing. Moving on, we've got the base painted, so very little chance I was going to be able to get the feet re-chromed, but with the help of a lot of good friends, I was able to get it painted, and it's pretty robust now. It's not going to rust any further, and it's all pretty, it's pretty smart looking. I was able to put on new feet, or casters. I guess that's what you call them. Had to rethread the thread under here, but yeah, I can't really see it, but can you see over this side? Maybe you can see, yeah, underneath there. Repainted the base, and a good friend was able to take a lot of the dents out of it as well. I'll just get a light, so give me a second. Okay, so I've grabbed my phone, so I'll use the torch function on that to make a bit of light so we can see in some of these darker areas. Okay. Right, so we're set. So as you can see, it's all pretty clean down here. Air vents, looking pretty good. This is the cash box. I had that painted as well. New lock put on that. Generally, if I can get it to open, that's still set up. I just kind of put extra buttons and anything in there. So good little storage area, really. They've got the coin slot here, and as you remember, I did do a decal on the other side of the glass when I painted it, so we've got this nice white print. But over time you can see like it's moved, the sticker has, but you know, I'll probably have to redo this again one day. But this is pretty sharp looking, and no one's actually noticed it, and it's not, you know, it's not perfect. You look at it, it's got scratches, so no one really sees any issue. I won't probably fill up these holes, I'll probably just leave them as they are, because they're kind of like history, and I can explain to people about them, how it used to look. But yeah, we'll go up and have a look at the screen now. So I was able to, I don't know if this is worth bringing a light to it, but when I painted the glass, I left some windows so I could slide in cards for game instructions. So I've got Space Invaders in on this, and rotated to each side, so whoever's playing, they can read each of their cards. So the screen itself is a computer screen. I think I had a monitor that I was showing in the previous video. So now, what's that? Yes. So as you can see, I've been able to mount the perfect size monitor in here. For the controls, I've just got the made up this wooden or to slot the board, the chassis for the screen into there, so it's not shorting against anything, and easy to adjust the screen if needed. I've got the 12 and 5 volt switching power supply there, and then the game board is just here, and that just connects via the VGA cable. But yeah, you can sort of see, may have shown it in the previous video, that someone had cut the bezel or the hole for the screen to come through for a screen rotated, but I've painted it in and made it back to original. Got the speaker there, coin mechanism is here, and this button here is actually for service, to put it into a service mode, but I probably should really mount it. I was going to use this as to tell us what voltage was going through the machine, but at the moment it's still not connected. Maybe I'll just remove it, maybe it's not really needed. Wiring it up with for the two control panels was a lot of fun. As you can see, I've had to try and keep it tidy and run a cord around, jot down what plugs were for what. We were missing a piece of wood, this piece of wood that backs up the back of the control panel. I was missing one, so I had to get one made. With the help of a friend, I was able to use his equipment to cut this piece of wood so it fits in here perfectly. As you can see there, had to cut out a notch so it would give the perfect gap spacing. Yeah, so it's all pretty well, runs great. I replaced the fan in it, and that's what you can hear, that's really going for it. Keeps it cool, but I will probably connect up an adjuster to just slow it down a little bit, because it is pretty noisy, especially with this lid open. I'll just see if I can now put this back down and hear it's a little bit more quiet. But yeah, definitely keeping it cool. The fan is just around this side here. I'll just bring back the torch. So we've got the power switch and a fuse, and then here is the fan. Definitely getting some suction there. In fact, yeah, it's probably going a little too fast. And then got the power cord, but yeah, original serial plate for it. So yeah, not bad. I know it's been a long time coming to do a video on this cabinet, but finally here's an update on it anyway. Maybe I'll do another video on it in the future where show it getting played a bit more, but you know, I just really wanted to let you guys see where I was with it, and it's definitely in a playable condition. So we'll just turn off this light on the phone if I can. Right, so at the moment it's set to free play, so pressing the player 1 or the player 2 button will bring it out into the menu, and then you can just use player 1's joystick to select the game. I really enjoy playing Space Invaders on this table. It just works so well when you've got a friend. It's not too fast of action, the games last a while. Yeah, it's really enjoyable. So what I'll do is press player 2, even though we've got no one to play against, but you'll see how the screen will rotate when a player dies. So we've got this is going to be interesting I will not be able to play very well. Can't play very well at all with one hand, but generally the idea is to take out this side first. So as you can see now, it's rotated to the other player, or player 2's side, and so then I can take a break while my friend's playing the game. Once he gets taken out, we'll see that the screen will then rotate back to us. So I kind of find it kind of neat. So there we go. So now that will rotate to us again. Very good. And then it'll rotate back again. Yeah, this is actually quite fun. I really have had some good nights playing with friends with this, and really trying to challenge each other, see if we can just push each other to the higher score. So that's our current high score on this machine, which is nice because it remembers it. So and I think that is my high score. So most people I play, they don't quite, because I've had a bit more time to get used to it, they don't quite beat me, but they do after an hour. They start getting quite good at it. Yeah. So one small thing I did wrong when I got this glass made is I didn't mention about curving off the corners of the glass. So I had really sharp edges on every side, and just brushing past them you'd end up scratching your leg or hurting yourself. But what I was able to do was just get a file and just carefully file it down so there's a nice curve on it. I didn't really think of it at the time, so it's my mistake, but the glass does look nice and clean. The paint that I did 5 years ago is lasting alright, but there is the odd, if I can see anything, there's the odd mark or where the paint's maybe just lifted a little bit over time. I can't actually see it anywhere in here now, but to someone who's not looking, they're just not going to notice it really. But yeah. So yeah, overall pretty happy. It's super playable now. It's pretty safe. I've kind of like made sure all the electronics is safe and hidden away and then once the lid's down and locked, you can't go too wrong. The screen is pretty good. I do find that I have to do a little adjustment because it's kind of half out at the moment, but some games have got a more of a wide length than others, so some games you can see the text quite easily, but I haven't actually had this running for probably about a couple of weeks, so I do find it does move a little bit, but otherwise the screen's great. So that was just a old computer monitor, a 13 inch, or it might have been a 14, but they're kind of just the same size. Like, I didn't have to adjust any of the holes in the in here to fit the monitor. As you can see, they just clipped straight in and then bolted down fine. This worked out quite well, making this to keep the board, so I just cut a little groove into it so it would just slide down into there. It's got an end to protect it so it doesn't hit the base of the table. It's bolted in so it's not going to move. Then this board here is covering all the electronic, the 240 volt that comes in. I was a bit concerned about people playing around and putting their hand down in places like that, so that's all safely hidden away. And then the jammer cable just comes out and plugs in, and then we've just got the VGA going down into here. The jammer harness that I use had a lot of extra cables, so probably one day I'll chop these all off because they're never needed. There's no burn in on the screen, so and with the very little use I give it, like, it's never on for hours on end, and with this screen always changing, it's never really going to get burned in my time of by owning this, so we should be pretty safe. And it's a pretty solid system. Good screen, good power supplies. You know, prefer to have original boards, but this one definitely fills the gap and gives you a lot more games to play. I will definitely look at making that fan go a little more quieter, but otherwise this is it. Especially when you look back at that first video of mine to now, 5 years later, just really took me time getting the control bezel and panel and getting that screen worked out. Then I probably spent about a month there just figuring out how I was going to lay the cables and everything, because when I got it there was nothing there, so I didn't really know how everything went together, but wanted to keep it nice and tidy with all the wires zip tied together. So yeah, not bad. Right, so that's the update on my table. I believe it will run strongly now for many years without having any issues. It's not going to get like used lots, so I can't see it ever having a problem for years in the future. I kind of just keep it in my room here for my games, but I do have this little trolley to put on and take it out to the lounge if I've got friends around who want to have a good game. But yeah, just so much better. Anyway, I'd like to thank you for watching, and see you next time.